ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Can can someone just let me know if my audio video is all good? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your Sunday afternoon with me. Before I actually get started, I would love to know who all we have here. Thank you, Divani. I'm really excited too. So I would love to know who you guys are, and I would really like to know what made you join this masterclass in the sense of are you thinking of starting creating content? Are you doing it, and you just want to learn more about it? Are you just curious about the topic? Definitely let me know because I think it'll be good for me to know so I can make sure that I emphasize on those parts depending on what all of you are here for. So please let me know who you are, where you're from, and what made you decide to attend this masterclass. Before I get started, I would really like to know that. Oh my God, the Bani is a restaurateur. That's so interesting. Wow. Rituja is a master's student in biotech. Wow, how exciting. And also obviously of course after the masterclass I would love to take as many questions as possible. So I don't think I'll be able to see the questions while I'm presenting. So when we stop to take questions, please leave your questions in the chat box at that point, just so I don't miss anything. Wow, oh my God, like you guys have such interesting backgrounds. Exporter and tarot card reader from Bhopal. Wow. PhD research scholar, software engineer from Pune. I run a design company and project I'm planning to write our content. That's awesome. So what I understand is that all of you are interested to get started with creating content, which is perfect, which is exactly what I had in mind also. So this will be really, really great. Professional storyteller. Oh my God, that is so interesting. Crazy. Okay, awesome. I think we can get started. It is Sunday. I want to make sure we can cover as much as possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Please do let me know, and if you can't see it, or if my audio or video is breaking up or anything like that. Okay, awesome. Just going to present. Great. Can you all see my screen? Actually, I don't think I'll be able to see the chat box. So I'm hoping you can see my screen. Please let me know, on WhatsApp or something, someone from Mitti Ke Rang if you guys can't. But welcome to the masterclass on how to create content online. It is honestly the thing that I talk about 24/7. It's my most favorite topic in the entire world. And just to give you guys a little bit more context on how we're going to be spending the next 1 hour, these are the couple of things that we're going to be talking about today. First of all, what does creating content mean? Why do we hear so much about online content creation and social media content and all of that? What does that really mean? Why should you be thinking about doing it? Why do I think that literally I think that every single person should be creating content online? So why do I feel that way? And obviously, most importantly, now that you know all of this, how can you actually get started? So those are a couple of things that we're going to be covering in the masterclass today. But just to give you guys a little bit more context on yeah. So who I am. So I am a learning content lead in an edutech startup in Bangalore. That's what I do for my full-time job. That involves designing learning curriculum for online workshops, as well as overseeing all of the content development of it. And when I'm not doing that, I am creating content online. So yes, my entire world, my entire day is filled around content, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So this is what I do. And to give you a little bit more background on my own content creation journey, I got started off a year ago. I've been creating content every single day for a year now. I got started with the blog, then I also tried. Then I moved on to LinkedIn. I started a podcast. I was on Twitter. But as of this year, I have really, after trying out all these different things, I have really decided to focus on three things exactly for this year for my own brand, which is my newsletter. I have an email newsletter that I send out every single week. Instagram, as well as I have a YouTube channel where I create 2 videos every single week. So this is what my content ecosystem looks like. And the content that I create is around helping other people build their online brand by making content creation easy, fun, and effective. So talking about this is truly, truly what I'm passionate about. But moving on to what we're here to talk about, what is content? Just is there any way to like remove that from the screen? Anyone else who's co-host, please let me know. Otherwise, it's totally fine. But yeah, so why are we here? Why are we talking about content? What is it? Now, what I always say is that content is communication. Creating content is just a way for you to communicate whatever you want to communicate and put it out there, because there's a lot of benefits from creating content, figuring out what you want to communicate and putting it out there. But in its most simplest essence, creating content is just about communication. Now, what can you communicate? Now, if okay, now I want to communicate, I want to create content about, I think, like, what are your options? What are the different types of content that you can create? Now, if you take every content that's being created, it really boils down to 4 different types. Now, there's educational content, entertainment content, informational content, and inspirational content. So if you're thinking of getting started, you will more likely than not fall under these buckets. Like, educational content is what I create. It's all your tips and tricks, your how to do this, how to do that, all of that, like how I help people build their online brand. That's educational content. Entertainment content, obviously, it's all your comedy content, blog, lifestyle, all of that comes under entertaining people. Informational content is anything to deliver information, like journalism, news, all of that is informational content. And inspirational content is, of course, all of our motivational content, things that inspire us to do various different things. So all type of communication, all type of content will fall under one of these buckets. Do let me know if you can figure out another bucket, because I have been thinking about it and I can't. But now, more importantly, why do I like push people to create content online? Why is creating content so important for a person and for a business? Now, I think when you create content online, there are 2 main outcomes that comes out of it. One is internal, one is external. Now, the internal is the skills and the knowledge and all that you gain. And the external outcome that comes with creating content is the fact that you build an audience. And that is a big thing that we're going to focus on today. Why? Because of this. This is something that, like, truly I came across very early on, and I cannot, I cannot express this enough. Building an audience, having an audience is a huge, huge asset. Audience is the new currency. Those who build the audience have the power, and this is absolutely accurate. And we will get into why this is true. Now, but first, who is an audience? Now, this is something I think about a lot. And this quote from one of my favorite authors, Seth Godin, describes it perfectly, that your audience is a group of people who want to hear from you and will miss you if you don't show up. Now, so your audience is not just a large group of people that you hopefully want to get. It's not your target market. It's not your target customer. It's the group of people who have given their consent to follow you along on your journey, who have followed you on Instagram, who have subscribed to your YouTube channel, who have given you their email ID to be part of your email list. All of these people who have told you, hey, I like what you're talking about. I want to like continue hearing about it. So I'm choosing to follow you along. And, so please show up. I want to hear from you. Those people are your audience, and those are the people that you need to focus on. But why? Why should you build an audience? Why is this so powerful? Why is having an audience such a big asset? First, network. As the very like famous cliche saying goes, your network is your net worth. Having a good network is very, very powerful. And the thing is that in your physical world, in going to different places, and like going to the store or going to college, going to work, there's only a limited number of people that you can meet in your entire lifetime. You can't go to so many different places to meet so many different people in your physical world. But when you take that online, in your virtual world, there is no limit to how many people you can meet. And that is what's so powerful about creating content online. There's this quote that I really, really like that says, creating online is like having a manager who wakes up every single day, goes out there and finds opportunities for you. And that's exactly what it is. There are so many wild and crazy things, like for example, what's happening right now, that only happens like for me, that I get to experience in my life because I create content. There's like random emails I'll get from people and random comments from people saying, hey, I saw that thing that you posted there. I really liked it. Do you want to talk about these things. Like I have gotten a job because I've created content. I've got like freelance like projects. I've I've gotten so many opportunities just because I know what I want to communicate about, and I wake up every single day and I put it out there, and that reaches people, and you have no idea the kind of people it will reach. So building that really powerful network is, even though right now you might not have any use for it, there will come a point when you will need a network. And having an audience is like waking up one day and just putting something out there and knowing that that's going to reach people and it's going to come back to you. Like if like if there's any opportunity that you want to pursue, you don't have to wake up and try to figure out how you're going to get it, because you already have a network. Next, community. And now this is my favorite part of creating content online and building an audience is the community. Now, again, when you just go to college, when you just go to work, when you like hang out with the people around your house, the ability to meet someone who's like-minded to you, the ability to interact with someone who's also interested in the same things that you're interested in, the probability of that is very, very less. Like I love talking about creating content online, right? But in my physical space, in only the people that I went to college with, the people I work with, the people I'm like childhood friends with, there's maybe one or two people who might also want to talk about those things, who might also be interested in the things that I'm interested in. But when I do the same thing, when I talk about the same thing online, it like-minded people get attracted to that because I'm choosing to put what I'm interested in online. So those people also like choose to follow me and choose to get attracted to that. And now my entire audience is filled with people who also want to talk about creating content online. And that's so beautiful. Every single day I wake up and have conversations about things I'm interested in. And that leads to so many new ideas. And like it leads to so much growth. Like that's why I say, like, if you want to learn about something, like, let's say you wake up and realize that you want to learn about like cryptocurrency or something, start talking about it online, because you will literally attract people who are also interested in cryptocurrency. And that's how you learn, right? If you can learn from each other, and that's so powerful. And those kinds of things are, it's the probability of that happening in your physical space is very, very less. And so community is a very, very big advantage of building an audience online. And the last is customers. Now, we have seen so many examples of creators starting businesses, or brands creating content to attract customers. Because when you know that this is what I want to sell, when you have a product or service in mind, you don't have to like go out there and be like, okay, now how do I figure out who's going to buy this product? How do I figure out who might be interested in this product? All you have to do is start talking about it online. All you have to do is start creating content about it online. When you understand who it is that you're trying to target, then speak to that person online. And every single social media platform, every single online platform is designed in a way that when you start speaking about something, the algorithm will go out there and get people who might be interested in that topic and give them to you. Like you make a YouTube video about, like a product you're selling, or like how to use your product, like a fitness product or something. YouTube itself will literally go out there and find the person that this video is best suited for and show your video to you. And like that is something that is just, it like blows my mind how easy it is, for brands and businesses to get customers. But even if you're not yet a business, okay, even if you have absolutely no idea what your product is, what your service is, but like what niche you want to be in, the industry you want to be in, just start talking about that online, right? Like I'm not selling anything, like I don't need customers for anything. I am just building an audience, because obviously it's a community, it's so much fun to do it. But also down the road, maybe I want to start a product, like maybe I want to start a business. I already have like customers, like I already have an existing audience who might be very, very interested in buying from me if the product is in the same field that I've built my audience in. And that is so crazy. Can you imagine like starting a business and having like ready-made customers? So these three reasons are huge reasons why having an audience is such a big asset, and why like why it is considered the new currency. And so this was the external reason, like building an audience and creating content, and as a result, building an audience is obviously the external outcome that comes with creating content. But something I don't see a lot about is the internal transformation you go through as a creator when you start creating content online. In just a year, this is actually just in a few months of creating content online, these are just some of the few things that I have learned, and these are huge, huge skills to have. These are so useful. Like even tomorrow, if I wake up and I realize I don't want to be creating content anymore, like I don't care, or my audience just completely goes away, it's not that my entire year of doing this is a waste, because I have gained all of these skills that I could not have gained like any other way. I would not have just woken up and decided that I want to learn how to edit videos or edit audio. It's because I wanted to have a YouTube channel that I had to learn how to edit videos. And each one of these skills that I now have just because I was making videos online and like making reels and putting up Instagram posts, all of these things, when I sit back, I'm like, oh wait, I gained all of these skills. That is insane. So that is also a huge reason. Might not seem like, oh, like this is not so advantageous as like the audience, like the customers and the community and all of that. Bigger picture, this is actually really nice. It's a great outcome of creating content online. But if you're convinced, I'm sure you were already convinced, which is why you decided to come to the masterclass in the first place. But after all of that, how can you actually get started? That's what, obviously, that you want to know. So here is, I would say, like super simple, like a very basic roadmap of exactly what you can do. Like today, you can literally do this today to get started creating content online. Pick a niche, choose a platform, get started, but very importantly, be consistent. And we will go through each of these things. Now, picking a niche. Now, I'm sure, of course, all of you might know what a niche is, and even hearing all of your backgrounds and like why you're here, I think you have a clear picture of, like, you're all from very specialized fields. So I think you have a clear picture of what your niche is. But for those who don't know, a niche is basically just a subset of a market. It's a subset of an industry. But why should you pick a niche? Why should you be thinking about a niche? Like, why can't you just talk about whatever you want to talk about? Now, I will agree that maybe a few years ago, you could literally just I could just be me. I could just be Srilekha and talk about everything that I'm interested in, and I would be able to build an audience that way. But in 2021, you can no longer do that, because yeah, the market is very saturated. There's so much content online. There is just an abundance of content online that if you really want to find your audience and you really want to grow and succeed and achieve all of the goals that you have set with your content, you're going to have to specialize. You're going to have to niche down and like really choose exactly who you want to talk to and talk to them. That is the quickest way to grow right now. And this does not mean that you're like, oh, you're going to have a smaller audience. Not at all. The way that the internet is moving, the way that online communities are moving, no one wants to follow like a lifestyle person who talks about food, who also talks about clothes, and also talks about travel, who also talks about makeup, who also talks about like technology. No, like you want to go to the person who's the best at this. Like, I want the specialist. If I want to learn about technology, I want to go to the person who only talks about technology, like who only talks about Windows laptops or something. Like, that's how specific you need to get in this day and age, in today's market. But how do you actually get there? How do you actually find your niche? Now, you already might know your niche, but for the people who don't, these questions have been very useful for me also to find my niche. Now, I have literally oscillated between so many different niches. When I started my blog first, it was about personal finance. Then I moved on to more like motivational type content. Then I was doing like personal development content. Then I was doing, just talking about like LinkedIn. And then I settled on like truly like what I'm passionate about and what I can actually talk about in the long term. And these three questions, I think, would be very helpful for you to figure out. Now, first, what content do I currently consume the most of? Now, why is this important? Creating content online is a long term game. Okay, it is something that you have to understand, that you have to do this maybe for a good for a few years to actually see like a huge amount of benefit. And even then, you have to continue doing it. It's not like it's like a fixed time of, I'll do it for now and then I'm done and then I can get everything out of it. It is a long term thing. So it's very important that the topic that you're talking about, the niche that you're in, is something that you're interested in. So if you're already consuming content about a particular thing, obviously you're interested in that thing. So it's very helpful that whatever niche you pick, be like, if I'm consuming like a lot of personal development content right now, but I know that like digital marketing is very lucrative, it's very profitable, I can make a lot of money there, and I can't just go choose digital marketing. I'm obviously not interested in it, and if I'm not interested in it, I won't be able to sustain myself, and then I'll just be wasting time trying to pretend that I can talk about digital marketing. If I'm interested in personal development also can be very profitable. You just have to figure out how. So pick something that you're already interested in, and the best way to find that out is go through who all you follow on Instagram, go through the all the channels that you subscribe to on YouTube. Look at them, like what is the common theme that's coming out. Like I'm sure it's not going to be so far and like wide that it's so many different things and there's no like overlapping themes. Like look at that, like look at the books you're reading, like the what you're studying, all of those things are obviously things you're interested in. So start there. And then in when you have that, think about what problem you can solve for people. Now you might be consuming a lot of travel content, but that doesn't mean you can just start and like start creating travel content. As I said, you need to niche down, you need to specialize, because that is the way to grow, especially right now. So pick, once you have like travel or something, like thoroughly think about like what problem can I as a person, like as a unique person, what problem can I solve for someone else. Like let's say you're a student or something, like why don't you talk about traveling for students, like traveling on a low budget, traveling with your pocket money, traveling in between college and university, like figuring all that out, right? That is a niche. That is even though that seems very specific, that is a large group of people who would be interested in that. So look at your own life, look at your own experiences, like what can you really bring to the table, that what problem can you solve for people in that wider niche. So that's how you would narrow from like a broader thing to being more specific. And then when you have this, just to really know that you found the right topic, when you found the right niche, sit down and write down 10 content ideas under that topic. This is the first thing I did when I realized that I wanted to like start a podcast. Was I wrote down actually 20, but 20 might be like too much. I wrote down like 20 podcast episode ideas. Like, and if I couldn't come up with it, then obviously like I can't do it. Like if I can't even come up with 10 content ideas under that topic, like what are the chances of me being able to talk about that topic for years and years to come? Of course, you're going to learn things as you go. It's not that you need to know everything for like 2 years worth of content now. But if you can't even come up with 10, it's very unlikely that you can actually sustain in this, because social media and like the world of online content creation is it's very frequent, it's very fast paced. You have to be putting out a lot of content out there, like in the form of like Instagram stories and posts and reels and videos and blog posts and all of that. So you need to be able to come up with a lot of content ideas. So if you can't come up with it, then go back to step one, start from scratch again, look at the next topic that you might be really interested in, and then follow the same thing again. So I really hope that helped, because once you pick a niche, the next really important thing is to find your platform. Now, finding your platform is not just like, okay, this platform, because when you choose a platform, you're also choosing the type of content that you're kind of committing to create. Like you can't just be like, okay, I'll create, I'll do YouTube. Like YouTube seems fun, I'll do YouTube. Because if you choose YouTube, then you have to create video content, and you have to be that, do you have the equipment for it? Like, are you okay with being on camera? Like, do you know how to edit? All of these things. So finding a platform is also about picking the type of content you're creating. So that also requires like some level of like thought. So these are the few questions that I think will be very helpful in you when you're trying to pick a platform for yourself, for your business, or anything like that. Now, first, again, what platform do you currently use the most of? Like, are you someone who's like, do you consume a lot of content on Instagram? Do you watch a lot of YouTube videos? Like, are you on Twitter a lot? Look at that. Like, what is the platform right now that you are consuming content on the most? Why? Because that means you already understand that platform. You already understand the kind of content that gets created on that platform. And right now, you don't want to be wasting time trying to learn a whole new platform. Like if you've never used Twitter, then don't choose Twitter to start creating content, because you have no idea how Twitter works. You have no idea the kind of content that works on Twitter. But if you're like using Instagram a lot, look at what you like. Like what is the kind of content you're engaging with? What is the type of content that you really like consuming? You already understand those things. You know the features. You know there are IGTVs, there are reels, there are stories, there are posts. You know all of these things, so you don't have to like waste time trying to figure out, trying to like understand a whole new platform. So start from there. Then think about, how do you communicate? As I said, Content is all about communication. It's all about you as a person, as a business, anything, communicating what you want to communicate to other people. So if you can't communicate in that way, then you shouldn't be doing it. Like, for example, I got started off last year with a blog, and I very, very quickly stopped the blog just because I realized that like written content, like writing, is not the way I communicate, and I just couldn't do it. And it obviously wasn't resonating with people. It wasn't picking up at all, and that's why I decided to start a podcast because I love speaking. I'm very comfortable speaking, so I knew that podcasts and like audio and speaking is something I would be very comfortable with, and it'll also I was positive that people would resonate with me speaking better than me writing. So think about how you communicate. Like, are you okay with being on camera? Can you speak well? Are you a really good writer? Are you like a really good photographer? Then choose a more visual platform. So look at all of that, figure out what your strengths are, and make sure that that's also something that's like that's a factor that's playing into your decision. Next, how much time do you have now? I understand that a lot of you have businesses or want to start businesses, and that's why you want to create content online. So if you have a business, most of your time is towards that business, and I can understand how you like, I just don't have time to like make YouTube videos and things like that. Then definitely do not take YouTube. Like, YouTube videos is the thing that takes like the most amount of time, so obviously don't go for that. Maybe choose something like Twitter that takes like very less time. It's just it's just like 280 characters of text. So choose something like that. Or maybe you're a student who has a lot of time, and you really like, like before you graduate, you want to like build your audience and make sure that you're set up for like in a great place. Once you're graduating, you have a lot of time, and so then you can choose something like making YouTube videos. So time is a big, because again, as I said, this is a long-term thing. You need to kind of do this every single day. So if you don't have the time to do that thing, definitely don't choose it. And then next, where does your target audience spend most of their time? Now, this is something that after looking internally, looking at what is best for you, which I think is very important, then see if that also aligns with your like bigger goals of creating content. Does your target audience actually spend time on that platform? Like, if I am let's say I'm creating content because I'm a content writer and I want to work with startups and write content for them, I might not choose Instagram. Like, in somewhat it makes sense, but it doesn't make like the most sense. Obviously, LinkedIn would be the place that I should be creating content, because entrepreneurs and like business owners and CXOs, all those people are on LinkedIn. So obviously, I should be going on LinkedIn and communicating what I'm about, communicating what my strengths are, and all of that. So, or if like if you have like a visual thing, you have like a product and you need to showcase your product, like all of that. Obviously, like choose Instagram. Like, like if you're a product like for photographers or for it's like a D2C company or something like that, obviously choose Instagram, because that's where your customers are. So after, like if that platform also like aligns with a few of the other things, might not align with like maybe you don't have as much time, but your target audience really is there, then you can like figure it out, maybe hire someone, or like like trying to make some time or something like that. But I think all of these things are very important to keep in mind when you're choosing your platform, because choosing your platform is a very big decision. It can really like make or break your entire journey of creating content. If I had just stopped at my blog, if I had only tried my blog, given it no thought, and realized, oh, I just don't like blogging, so I'm just not going to create content, then I wouldn't have had this entire journey that I had. So picking the right platform is very important. Next, getting started. Yes, this seems very simple, but everything else, picking your niche, picking your platform, all that you can do right now. You can like do it today. Anyone can do it. Like, every single person can like pick a niche and pick a platform, but every single person doesn't create content. Every single person is not a creator, is not creating content for their business, because they haven't gotten started, because there's a lot of barriers that our like mind puts on ourselves just to let it like not get started. Obviously, because creating content is you putting yourself out there. It's you like choosing to like showcase yourself online, and like that like can be very scary for every single person. There's no one that just like whatever. You obviously, the first, like the most common thing that everyone like has the fear of is like, what are people going to say? Like, like your friends are on Instagram, your family is on Instagram, like your colleagues are on LinkedIn. It's like, if I just like start creating content, like, oh my god, like it's so embarrassing, like what are people going to say? obviously everyone thinks this, I also thought this. And the thing that really helped me, first of all, now that I have this 1 year of creating content, I can tell you with experience that like people are really not as rude as we think they are. Like, first of all, there's like this hate comments, all of this thing is like so not a thing. Like, I've been doing it for a year and I've not even gotten a single hate comment. So that's really not a thing online. So if you're someone that's like, oh my God, I don't want to like put myself through that, then I really hope that like that doesn't hold you back, because it's really not a thing. And second, even for the people that you do know, right? Like, we think that like when we like start making videos and stuff, like all our friends are gonna like laugh at us and be like, oh my God, like what is she doing? That doesn't happen. Like, put yourself in their shoes. Let's say some friend of yours it's like start a YouTube channel or like start an Instagram page or something like that. When you see that, is your first instinct to like laugh at them and make fun of them? No, like you're their friend, you're obviously going to be very happy for them, you're going to be very encouraging and supportive. And if you can be like that, then like I think we should like give our friends and family and colleagues a little like a little benefit and be like, okay, fine, like it's just in my head that I'm thinking that everyone's going to laugh at me. That's absolutely not true. No one has laughed at me. I mean, as far as I know, no one has laughed at me. Like, no one is rude. Everyone is actually very encouraging and very supportive. So I really hope that doesn't hold you back. And second, something you might also think is like, oh my God, isn't that like such a narcissistic thing to do? Like, I'm just going to like go online every single day, talk about things, and like, like show people my life, and like like why would people like be interested in all of that? Again, look back, think about all of the YouTubers you like and the authors you enjoy and all the podcasts you listen to. Imagine if all of those people had decided that I'm not going to do this, it's so narcissistic, I don't want to go out there and like talk about these things. Would we be better off? No, like we have gotten so much value from watching these YouTube videos, from like consuming this content on Instagram, listening to these podcasts, because those people chose to like like put themselves out there and share what they know, and like they had this knowledge and they decided to share it with people. And if they could do that and we have found so much value, like the same thing applies to us. What we can put out there, even if it's valuable for even just one person, that's absolutely worth it. Even if one person can actually find what you're saying useful, then you have like a duty, okay, almost like a duty to actually go ahead and do this. And these things, like feel like you imposter syndrome, feeling like like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm talking about, no one's going to care, all of these things are very common and they will come up. It's just about having the right perspective to actually get started. Because once you get started, again, you have all of these like technicalities, all your fundamentals figured out. The next very important thing is to be consistent. Sorry. The next very important thing is to be consistent. Why? Because consistency is everything when you're building an audience online. Okay, not the skills, not your topic, not your visuals and branding, all of that. It's consistency. The people who are successful are not the people who were the best. The people who are successful are the people who just didn't quit. And that is absolutely true when you're trying to build an audience online. And being consistent is probably the hardest thing that you will face in this entire journey. It is the hardest thing that I have faced. It's not learning how to edit videos, it's figuring out how to put out YouTube videos consistently. And these are a couple of things that have really helped me be consistent. And if you take away anything, this will probably be the most important thing, because this is the thing that you're going to face on a daily basis. First and foremost, remember your why. As I talked about all the benefits about creating content online, figure out why you're doing this. And I didn't know this when I got started. It was just for fun. I loved that, like, like, oh, it would be so cool to like talk about these things and all of that. I didn't have like a bigger why I was doing this. And so I didn't have a reason to wake up every single day and do it. It's like, no, I don't want to do it today. And that's not the way it works when you're trying to like create content online. You have to do this like day in and day out. So you need to have a bigger reason why you're doing this. And it could be, because you want to start a business. It could be to sell your products. It could be to find friends. It could be to build that community or get a new job. Like, you want to quit your job, and so you're trying to build an audience so you can transition into like maybe you're like working for yourself or building a network to get a job. It could be for so many different reasons, but like know that, because when it's really hard, when you have absolutely like, I'm like, making this YouTube video is the last thing I want to do, your why will be the thing that like gets you through. Next, prioritize, and this not just means in within your content, but also in your life. Like if you are serious about creating content online, if you're serious about building this audience, then prioritize it over other things in your life, or prioritize it on the top three things or anything like that. Because every single day when you wake up, you have decisions to make. Every single day you have to decide whether you are going to, create your content for Instagram, make your YouTube videos, or like chill and watch Netflix, or like go out with your friends. While all of those things are also important, I'm not saying those things are not important. What is your priority right now? You have to know that, because that's what will help you make those decisions every single day. And prioritization is also important within your content. Like when you start and get going, you would probably branch out into more than one platform. While it's very good to start out with one platform, as you get started, it makes sense to have more than one platform also, for a lot of different reasons. So when you start doing that, like at one point last year, I was actively creating content every single week on 7 different platforms. While that does sound overwhelming, it really wasn't that hard. But even within those 7 platforms, I had priorities. Like YouTube was my priority, my newsletter was my priority, because when, like, I do have a full-time job, right? Like on days when things were like really hectic and I just couldn't give that much time to my brand and my content, having those priorities and being like, okay, I don't have 7 different things to do. Like YouTube, let me look at the task that I have to like finish my YouTube video. So even then, having priorities when like you don't have time are very, very useful. So that you're always accomplishing that thing that you actually want to do. Next, build your life around it. Now this is really the thing that like helps me get everything done, because I know that I have to put out a YouTube video every Wednesday, every Sunday. I know that every Friday my newsletter has to go out. I know that like 5 times a week I have to post on Instagram, and my entire week is built around it. I know that okay, Wednesday a YouTube video has to go out, means Tuesday I have to film it and edit it. Like Friday my newsletter has to go out, as in, so Friday 5 to 7 I sit down to write my newsletter. So I don't just wake up and be like, what do I have to do today? That never happens. I have my entire week built around making sure that these pieces of content need to go out. That's the level of discipline and dedication that you have to give to it, because it is it is a thing that takes up a lot of time. So you can't just be like, I will work that into my life. If you are serious about this, and you have to kind of build your life around it. And that has actually been very, very helpful for me. Next, don't rely on motivation. Now, this is something that some people agree, some people don't agree, but I really, really agree with this. That like, it's not that people do things only when they're motivated to do things. You do it because you're disciplined to do it. I don't wake, even though I really, really enjoy doing this, I don't wake up every single day having the motivation to do this. I don't wake up every single day having the motivation to create content like Friday evening when everyone is like chilling, and when I just want to like finish my work and not do anything. The last thing sometimes I want to do is send out my newsletter. So it's not about motivation. Like really forget this thing that motivation every day will get you through. Develop discipline. Like I have the discipline that I know for a fact that every Friday my newsletter has to go out. And that is the reason my newsletter goes out, not because I'm like, I feel like putting it out. And that is a very important thing to remember. And last, have fun. Okay. Like I know all this sounds really serious, and it was like, oh my God, every single day, all of this. But creating content is a lot of fun. And honestly, if you're not having fun, I don't think you're doing it right. If you're not having fun, maybe that platform is not for you. Maybe you shouldn't be making YouTube videos if it's so overwhelming and you just hate doing it. Like maybe you shouldn't be talking about personal finance if you're not having a great time talking about personal finance, if you're not learning a lot, growing a lot because of it and all of that. Because at the end of the day, even though some days are hard and all of that, every single time I do it is a lot of fun, and I continue to have fun. And not only because obviously your life should be fun, and that's very important, but also you won't be able to do this. Honestly, like you won't be able to be consistent if you're not having fun doing it. And it has to feel like play to you. If it feels like work all the time, then you're just not going to be able to do it. And there is something out there that will feel like play to you, and you just have to keep finding it. And that's why, like, I tried out all those different platforms until I found the one that was best for me. It was not because like I had a lot of time and I was like a crazy person, which sometimes it would feel like that, but it's because I was trying out different things to find what like felt like play to me, and that is very, very important. So I just want to end you with like sometimes there are times where it seems really hard building an audience, seems really hard and pointless. I'm like, why can't I just do the traditional ways, like not do the whole online thing? But something I like remind myself is that building an audience online is always going to be worth it because of how powerful it is. So I really hope that this masterclass gave you that, gave you that context and perspective of why this is so important, and of course how to get started. So I think I will pause now for questions. And if you have any other questions you can't think of right now, anything like that, you can find me on Instagram at this handle, and you can ask me anything. I love talking about this. I would love to answer any questions. But if you do have absolutely any questions about creating content online, you can ask me now. I will just stop sharing my screen. Yes, awesome. And I'm also gonna drink some water. Oh, I'm so glad, Surbi, that you. I'm sorry. Okay, awesome. I'm just gonna see some questions that I can see here, and I will start answering those. Okay, Dibani asked, there are so many people talking about food. How do I find uniqueness in that niche? Any tip for that? Um, I think with respect to that, your personality and stuff, let that shine through. That will also be very useful and very interesting for people to know, like, like what kind of foodie are you? Like, what are the places you really like, and how, like, showing your passion. So that'd be very interesting. But again, then, right, like, look into your life, like what makes you unique. Like, let's say, like, I live in South Bangalore. Okay, so maybe I can focus on that, because, like, again, South Bangalore is not a small market. It's a lot of people. So that's something that, like, make me unique, because I live in South Bangalore, and maybe there are very few other food Instagram pages that focus on South Bangalore. And I like, Bangalore, the traffic is insane. I don't want to travel to North Bangalore. So I would love to know, like, what are the restaurants in South Bangalore, right? So that would be really valuable for me. So look at your life, look at yourself, and like what makes you unique, and then add that into your content, and that's really how you'll find your niche, and like how you will, like, set yourself apart. Okay. Um, could you share your mobile number, please? Oh no, sorry. Nawaz, you can DM me on Instagram at Srilekha Creates if you want. Shri Karuna asked, how do you maintain consistency? As I said, right, like, it's not just like very simple that I would be consistent and I am consistent. It really doesn't work that way at all. Obviously, when you get started, you have a lot more motivation, inspiration, all of that to be consistent, and you will keep putting out things for sure. But again, I've been doing this for a year, and I think I've maybe taken 2 or 3 days off an entire year from creating content. Other than that, every single day I've created and uploaded content. So really understanding, like, I have a reason I'm doing this. Obviously, there's something I want out of this. I'm not only doing it like the goodness of my heart or anything like that. So I'm working towards something, and that is a big thing that keeps me going, because until I get it, and when I get that, there'll be something else I want, and all of that. And then making it really easy for yourself. Consistency can be as hard as you make it, and can be as easy as you make it. So as I said, right, my entire life is shaped to for me to create content. So that makes it obviously way more easier than if my life was like just chaotic and was not planned at all. So that really helps. um, I've started a new business. Okay, Ramendra asked, I've started a new business of HR and hospitality services. What platform choose? I think LinkedIn would be really great. HR, like, obviously, right? Like, LinkedIn, people are really on there to learn more about their career growth and their, like, professional life, and how to, like, excel in that. So being on LinkedIn would be absolutely no brainer for you. But if you want to expand out of that also, I think Instagram is becoming more of a place where before, people kind of, like, it used to be an escape. People wanted to, like, see pretty things, and like, look at food and all that on Instagram. But now people are, when you're on Instagram also, you are thinking about, like, more serious things, and thinking about your career and money and all that. Those things are also working on Instagram, so you can consider Instagram if you want. Any tip how to do research of market? I would say, this is just my thing. I would say get started. I would say like whatever hunch you have, like whatever you feel like you should be talking about or doing, get started. You will learn a lot from that. Like if it's working, if it's not working, and you will really learn about like what are you trying to say, what you should you be saying, what is resonating with people. Like when you get like questions, like people are really engaging on social media. Okay, people will tell you what they're feeling. People will ask you like, hey, like like this is where I'm confused and all of that. So that's very, very valuable. I haven't done anything else, so I don't think I am qualified to talk about anything else. You can obviously like research your competitors, who you think your competitors are, go to their comments, their engagement. That is also very, very useful. Akhil Krishna asked, "What is your mental diet like?" I'm assuming it's like a informational diet or content diet. Yeah, I consume lot of content. As a creator, you have to, otherwise like you will really face a lot of creative blocks. So I'm on Twitter a lot. I follow a lot of people talking about the creator economy. That is something I'm really interested in. Like I watch Ali Abdal. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I used to watch a lot of Gary Vee. Like people have different opinions on him, but he really helped me and things like that. So yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot. Twitter is really great for a good information diet, to get like really interesting ideas, new ideas, and like thought leadership content. Twitter is really, really great. Debani asks, "What is the discipline or system you follow as a content creation ritual?" Yeah, like I said, some, something that I have, something I call no matter what days. So these are days like Tuesdays, my filming day, Wednesday, my editing day, Friday, my newsletter day, all of that. These are days like whatever happens, whatever plans I have, like whatever I'm feeling like, anything like that. These are no matter what, this has to happen kind of day. And you have to develop that level of discipline. So I have those single-handedly. The reason that I actually get out the content is because I have like whatever I'm feeling like, whatever my day looks like, I have to make sure that I make time to do those things. So that is really, really helpful. Can you share the Instagram algorithm at present and how often does it change? Honestly, like I'm not into talking about algorithms and like growth strategies and engagement and all content strategy and all of that. I really like the whole like creative process and talking about like getting started creating content and all of that. I'm really not the person qualified to talk about that. I'm sure Mitti Ke Rang will have people who are way more qualified to talk about that. And honestly, there's many people online that you can follow for that. Just don't to talk about things I don't really know a lot about it. Shruti, first of all, great session. Thank you. It's so sweet. Thank you so much. How exactly do you choose a platform for motivational artistic content? And are we missing out if we don't put out content everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube? Speaking as a performing artist, it's so interesting. So very obviously motivational artistic content. Instagram is really big for that artistic content, especially because it's purely visual. If you can make YouTube videos, that also will be very helpful. But again, YouTube is a very big undertaking, so I won't expect you to do that. But definitely get started on Instagram, and yeah, do not feel like you're missing out if you're not everywhere. Honestly, that's something I used to feel like last year, which is why I was on 7 different platforms. And the thing is, it's not like there are different people on different platforms. It's not like some people are only using Facebook, some people are only using Instagram, some people are only using LinkedIn. It's very likely that your audience is on all these platforms, so you will find them. Okay, you're not going to have the time unless you have an entire team. You're not going to have the time to be on different platforms. So really focus on one and give your best chance with that, because when you're spread out too thin, you feel like you're doing a lot, but you're not doing any of them really well. So focus on 1, 2, or 3 or something like that, and really give all of your time and attention there. That's something I've really learned the hard way. Dibani, can you share your weekly day routine? Honestly, that'll be too long to get into, and like I don't want to like, plug or anything, but I do have a YouTube channel where I actually create vlogs about my day and about my week and all of that. So if you want, you can check that out. It's Srilekha Karnic on YouTube. Shri Karuna, a real estate firm and an organic farm want me to handle their digital marketing. What platform is good? Real estate firm and organic farm. I would say organic farm, Instagram would be really good to show things. People would love to see how the organic farming happens, and using Instagram stories a lot, like reels, other type of video content would be really good for that. Real estate firm, I think Instagram is good. depending on who your target is, if it's like people like millennials and stuff like that, they're on Instagram. If it's a little bit older target market, then Facebook will be really, really good. Like, yeah, Facebook has a very like older demographic, so that will be very good for real estate, depending on who you're really trying to target. But organic farm, Instagram for sure. Tejal said, I'm a fresher to content writing. Please suggest how do I start my content writing stuff. Now, Tejal, I don't know if you mean how to start writing content, or how to start like building an audience for content writing. I think building an audience you would have got. Start on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really, really good for finding clients for content writing. People have like very easily, like clients will reach out to you if in your bio, if you have that you're a freelance content writer, and if you're talking about content writing, you're talking about writing and your experiences and all of that. So you can definitely get started on LinkedIn. Aniket said, is it a good idea to create a script for a podcast if we aren't much comfortable speaking spontaneously? Absolutely. I script my podcasts, and I have tried doing recording podcasts when it's not scripted and when it is scripted. And honestly, it is a hot mess when it's not scripted. Even though like I really enjoy speaking and I can speak about that topic, there's just something about the fact that you're recording that you do kind of fumble and you ramble, and editing is very, very hard. Like I'll say a lot of ums and likes and and all of that. So the end product is not good. So definitely have a script. Now you want that script to be like word for word script, or just the main points and a few things you have to cover. That you can try out and figure it out. But having a script, like, don't feel bad, like don't feel like this is so like not authentic. If you have a script, it's very, very useful. But try out both. But just in my experiences, not having a script has not worked out for me in podcast or with YouTube videos. Priscilla said, can you elaborate a little about your weekly newsletter? Yeah, so my weekly newsletter is called I Create. It goes out every Friday evening. It has three main components. So a newsletter is basically an email that comes like directly into your inbox when you sign up for it. Like, so if you go onto my website at srilekhakarnic.com, you can sign up for my newsletter. When you enter your email ID, every Friday evening, you'll automatically get an email into your inbox from me, where it has, I give one like content tip for anyone who's creating content, one insight from my week, like something I would have like something new I would have learned that week, or some realization I've had that's been very, very valuable for me. So one insight from my week, and one actionable prompt that I will be doing that weekend, or something that I would love for you guys to try out some weekend. So one actionable prompt. That's what my weekly newsletter is. Um, awesome. Yeah. So does anyone have any other questions at all? I think we have 10 more minutes. Literally any question at all, as as basic or as like advanced, please feel free to ask me. Let me just check if I missed anything. Okay, I'm going to assume that nobody has any other questions. Thank you so much for attending. I'm really, really okay. Surbi has a question. I will pause. Thank you, Surbi. Oh, thank you so much, Subani. How to keep content witty? Very interesting. Don't put so much pressure on it being witty. Obviously, witty is nice, but non-witty is also nice in a different context. Like, I don't think my content is witty at all. I have no idea how to make educational content witty right now. But yeah, so if you can be witty, if that's your personality, then go for it. But I don't think it's very necessary for your content to be witty. It should be engaging. That's very important. It can't just be boring. There are ways to make content engaging, like having a hook, making sure you're telling a story. Like, learning storytelling is so useful. It's something I'm doing right now. I'm trying to read a lot of books and all of that to learn storytelling, because it's really, really important when you're creating content. So understanding storytelling, creating engaging content is probably a little bit more useful than creating witty content. So I would say do that. If you want to learn how to storytelling, a book that I really liked was Telling the Brand Story. I think it's called, by Don Miller. Just check out Donald Miller's books. They're really, really good if you want to learn storytelling. But how to keep content witty, actually, I don't know. Sri Karna asks, which is the best platform for stories podcast? In terms of platform for podcasts, if it's audio, then you can put it on all the platforms. Like you can put it on every single podcast platform, like Spotify, Geo7, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Like you should ideally put it on every podcast. It's not a podcast platform. It's not very hard at all. And you can also make a video podcast. Like you can record you can take a video of you recording your podcast and make an IGTV video or YouTube. It does very, very well. It's highly recommended that if you have a podcast, also make it a video format and put it on YouTube. So you can do that. Okay, I'll just take this last one then. What if you have two professions? Can you create content for both? Will you be confusing your audience? Yes. I would say, like obviously you can. I would say definitely don't talk about both on the same page or the same with the same audience. You can either create two pages, like two Instagram pages and two LinkedIn, LinkedIn or two Instagram pages, two Twitter accounts, all of that to talk about these two different things. Or I would say really look into both and be like, where do you see where is your actual future? Like what do you want to achieve? Like, do you actually want to take both forward? Can you actually is there any advantage in talking about both of these things? If there isn't, then just pick the one that is more beneficial for you and just focus on that, because especially if you're getting started, it'll be very hard to talk about two different things on two different pages and to build two different audiences. So I would really say really think about it and figure out which one of those two you can actually choose and stick with. Okay, Aniket asked, how much duration should we create content initially for a podcast? So for again, podcast, people will literally listen to like a 3 hour podcast also, like Joe Rogan's or something. It's not like people will listen to, you have to make it very short. But as someone like getting started, like if you really want to get that initial audience, if people don't already like know you and like you, it's recommended to keep it around half an hour. Half an hour is a very good duration for podcasts, especially new ones. Because people will be finding it newly, just want to listen to one episode to see how it is and stuff like that. Maybe having it very long will be like a very big like no, like they're not going to listen to a very long episode. That's fine. Okay, awesome. I think I will let you all go and enjoy your Sundays. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for all of you to start creating content. And if there's anything that like you learned or anything and you want to create about it, like do tag me. It'd be so cool to see that. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me on Instagram and ask me there. But thank you all for attending.